Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video I would like to compare the expectations and the reality of the 3.17.2 patch and if CIG delivered on their promise of content and stability. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the armory. So I actually saw some discussion on social media on this topic and that's why I decided to take a closer look. The expectations for 3.17.2 were set in the letter from the chairman that we received some months back. The premise was very simple. 3.18 will take a long time to implement and test as it has some major changes to how the game works. Hence, we will release a good patch so players have a good gameplay experience while they wait. We now know that 3.18 will go to Evocati before the end of September and to a wider audience in October, but of course not everyone will want to play the PTU. The letter then went further into explaining what we should expect from 3.17.2. First of all, new content. This includes the new crash sites, outposts and missions and the Siege of Orison event. I have explored all of this new content in the PTU and in live during the initial release and then after the string of hotfixes that were required. And I have to say that I'm actually pretty satisfied with the results. My only reservations are that I expected the new missions to be more frequent. But it seems that the main events are being rerun at a regular basis, which is very nice. I especially enjoyed the Siege of Orison event. The event did have quite a few issues when it was released into live. I will talk about the release issues in a moment, but I think that CIG managed to stabilize the event as well as they could given the circumstances. Moving on to my biggest issue with the patch, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here. The absolutely abysmal handling of the Alpha UEC stipend. There was a perfectly fine solution from the last time they gave out a stipend, but CIG just had to go out and unleash a clearly untested script on an overloaded database, which made the issues even worse, resulting in further data loss and restoring back to the original solution. I hope that CIG have learned some valuable lessons from this. Okay, so now we know that CIG have delivered on their promise of having a lot of new content. Personally, I feel like there's plenty to do to keep us entertained. But unfortunately, this brings me to the topic of stability. Now, there are two ways to look at this, on its own and relative to other patches. I have been around for a long time and I have to say that relative to previous patches, 3.17.2 is one of the most stable patches we've had, especially after the hotfixes. However, it does have some key issues, and looking at it separately, it doesn't quite seem like the stable patch we had in mind when we read the letter from the chairman. 3.17.2 released as a complete mess. I had actually hoped that CIG would not do what they usually do and have a good and functional release. Though I admit that there were a lot of complicated factors involved with the release of 3.17.2. To name some, database issues, delays, increased server capacity and a major new dynamic event starting immediately after release. However, CIG have done an incredible job keeping things running and hotfixing the worst issues. There still are quite a few, but to me they're mostly minor issues that can be worked around. I believe most of the major stuff didn't get fixed because it will be fixed or changed in 3.18. So ultimately I think that CIG did actually deliver the patch Chris Roberts promised. In their own way, but they did. I am more concerned about 3.18 possibly being delayed or missing features, very little news on Squadron 42 and Theaters of War, and the lineup for CitizenCon this year seems pretty weak. However, I understand that some of the CitizenCon content is still subject to change, so we will see in less than a month. And with that being said, that's it for tonight. What do you think? Is 3.17.2 stable enough or did it need some more development time? Are you excited about the CitizenCon lineup? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.